Welcome back. This is going to be an update for the twin turbo 99 Dakota. I've done a lot of work off camera, but I'm going to tell you what I did and how I got there, and why I didn't make any videos about it. Well, let's go. Here it sits. What I've done off camera is I built another transmission for it. I put it in, I put a transmission cooler in, and did something else. No, I think that's about it. Once I get the cooler set up all the way done, get my thermostat, my temperature switch and relays and everything in, and the fans working, I'll go over that. I'll do a video on how I did that. I didn't do one on putting the transmission in or taking it out because it being so dark, getting home, piddling with it a couple hours a night, and not having a lift. The truck's on the ground. I can't get the camera angle anywhere where you could actually see anything because the bottom of the truck is this far from my face. It became such a nuisance, I just decided that there wasn't really any value there. If you have a twin turbo Dakota, you could follow step by step if you built it exactly the same, but other than that, it's the same R&R, a transmission. So I didn't really see any significant value in making that video, so I just decided not to. I also didn't make a video of building the transmission because I don't have a clue what I'm doing with that. I've built engines, I tune things, I do a lot of things. I understand the basics of what the transmission does and how it works, but I'm not full of myself enough to tell you how to build a transmission or what you should do. I don't have a clue. I got some upgraded parts. I bought parts from the guy I bought the truck from when it was pretty much stock 4 or 5 years ago. It's got a 2400 RPM stall that was rated at 400 horse, and I knew that was probably going to be a problem. And it's not, but it is. The converter itself is fine. The lockup part of it, it cannot. If I'm very, very light on throttle, I can use the lockup. Any amount of pedal at all, and it's slipping. But we're making significantly more torque than than that converter was made for. But that works. The rebuild kit had all red clutches. It was Alto, Eagle Reds, whatever. It came with a different end plate for the forward drum. It had 3 clutches in it originally. I don't know if the Dakota did. There's the Dakota Trans. I took another 46 RE out of my Ram so I could keep driving the truck on the weekends, playing with it while taking my time building a transmission. I've been in transmission before, but not this deep. So anyway, that one had 3 clutches in it. The new kit came with a new end plate that was thinner so I could stack one more clutch in there. And in the Ram, that third gear was, or the direct drive was burnt up. So now we've got an extra clutch. And it had a Fairbanks shift kit. And I set everything to competition. The heaviest springs, instead of using a spring, a lot of them use shims. So they're like the accumulator is shimmed. It doesn't move. It's solid. It shifts hard. Shifts great. More problems with it. Transmission part, that's doing fine. Cooler, doing fine. Everything else, doing fine. Well, I'm skipping steps. I also put a 4.1 ratio lever in it for the kickdown, and upgraded anchor and strut, and I think the band was upgraded to carbon fiber, some crap, something fancy. I bought the SunX billet servos, which I then didn't use because the Fairbanks kit ended up putting a shim under it, and the heights were different, so I couldn't use theirs with the Fairbanks kit. And the Fairbanks kit pretty much made the physical size of it kind of null and void. It didn't really matter after putting the shim in the accumulator because it made it solid. I got upgraded low reverse. I think that's about it. So far, it's been good. It hooks up. Well, transmission hooks up. Tires don't hook up at all. This thing came loose on the highway the other day. It was cold in the morning, road cold, and even with the open differential, it still, both of them came loose at 70 something when I dropped it in third to pass somebody. But I don't know how much horsepower it's making, but it's a lot. So that's why I didn't record those things, and that's why we are where we're at. Just wanted to get everyone updated before I do my next video. The next video is going to be swapping out I put the 8.8 in, if you've been following. It was an open diff 410. This thing's still screaming on the highway. It's not that bad. Traffic's usually 80, 90 miles an hour in the morning. That's 3,000 RPMs. I'd like it to come down a bit more. So I had another axle with a limited slip that was repacked with pretty low miles. I think I did performance clutches in the factory limited slip, and a 373. So the next video is going to be chucking that in there. Eventually I want to go to a true track and get upgraded gears and things so we can be harder on it, but for right now that option's free. So we're going to do that. I'm not going to do a rebuild kit. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to swap the guts out and use the best parts from each and just get it back together. Because right now, first it's useless, second's useless, third, depending on road temperature and speed, is useless, which is fun. But it's already gotten old. I can do third gear burnouts for miles, with a one-legger. And if I accelerate quick enough, if I just stab in it in second or third, it'll grab both tires. But it's inconsistent, which is sketchy. That is, you'd never know when it's going to let go, and it's going to pull one way or the other. So we don't like that. So we're going to fix all that crap. Another consideration, someone commented about using the Holley setup because it finally came out with 46 RE control. I really want to do the 8-speed in this thing eventually, but they finally came out with that, and that's really got me leaning towards it. I didn't want to spend that kind of money, but after I fixed second gear in the transmission, fourth gear went out and lockups never worked, and it doesn't shift right and drive anymore. That was before building the transmission. I thought that maybe it clogged some crap up because there was lots of metal in the pan of the transmission that ate the band. But, one second. Oh God. Damn it. Anyway. It's not a physical issue. The solenoids are fine. The wiring is fine. The computer is just crapped out. It lost the idle air control a long while ago. The fuel gauge, I think, comes from the computer to it. That dropped out. And I just keep rigging things to keep it working because I didn't want to put money in getting another computer or messing with it. Now that the transmission control is crapped out too, so I've got, if I leave it in drive, it goes 1, 2, 3 very early. It will shift 1, 2, 3, but it's not going to performance shift anything. It's very early. So I manually shift 1, 2, 3, and I've got fourth gear and torque converter lock up on a switch next to the seat. And that works just fine for now, but I'd like all that stuff to work. There's also a safety factor. Right now, if a wastegate line goes and this thing goes to who knows what boost, engine's done, it's gone. If I'm at full pull and something happens with the pump, it's done. There's no safety features in the factory computer to stop it from going boom. And I'd like the ability to data log more things. Data log fuel pressure, oil pressure, temperatures, all the good stuff. I would like more. So I really want to do an oil cooler video. I want to do before and after on temperatures for oil temperature, coolant temperature, just how it affects all those things. And I can't compare that on a data log with HP tuners as is, unless I buy pro features and do more crap. I don't want to do that. That's more money that I don't want to spend. Right now, if I want to upgrade the coil or the ignition box, all that crap, there's some money. There's $400 or $500. If I go to the Holley Terminator, they've got a small block on their site where it's got LS style coils, individual coils per cylinder, and at that point I don't have to worry about fancy boxes or that junk. So more and more it's pushing me towards I can spend a bunch of money buying different external boxes for launch control and other crap to stick with the factory computer, which is dying, and all these computers are that old, and you can get the computers fixed, or you can suck it up and order the Holley and do something cool. So I'm leaning towards that. But for right now, I just want it to hook with both tires, or at least spin both tires. So that's probably going to be about it. Look forward for that next video. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to go drive and do a third gear one-legger burnout. Come back, swap out the gears and the chunk, and hopefully do a two-legger and feel it actually pull, because holy crap, it pulls like hell. Well, anyway, that was a pretty long spiel. Just wanted to get you guys caught up on where I'm at and the next step. I apologize if anyone really wanted to see that with the transmission stuff, but I don't feel, if it's something I don't know anything about, I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I will do my best to let you come on the journey with me while I figure it out. But that transmission stuff, there's enough videos of people that know what they're doing. We'll just watch those, because that's what I did. Anyway, if you made it through this boring update video, thank you. I appreciate you very much, and thanks for watching. If you're new, like, subscribe, and keep an eye out. I'll keep building stuff.